Your secret powers, and welcome to the Secret to the Life You Want webinar. In today's webinar, we're not only going to be talking about my secret to creating the life you want, the life you need, we're also going to be talking about a special offer that I have to make later in the class, and I have a raffle for $100 of free life-changing services today. So you're going to want to stay tuned to the rest of the webinar so you can get more details about that. But let's jump right into today's webinar. You are here because you're ready. You are here because you're tired of running the treadmill of life and know you need something more fulfilling. You're here because you have tried so many systems, programs, positivity workshops, maybe even therapy or medication, to have only gotten short-lived results. You are here because you have dreams, wishes, wants that continually get unfulfilled because you either don't even know where to start, maybe you're overwhelmed by all the things that should be done, you don't have good boundaries and get overrun with others' needs, or you just can't seem to stay motivated long enough for change to stick. Well, join the club. That was certainly where I was, not 1 year ago. But I applaud you for having the courage to take this first step. Let's face it, finding lasting happiness, a purpose in life, initiating a mid-course correction, or finally giving yourself permission to build your dreams is not an easy thing. If it were, we would all be happy, full of excitement for our lives, and totally psyched about what we do every day. And frankly, there wouldn't be any need for webinars like this. But because you are here, and now you're ready to believe in yourself, none of that past stuff actually matters anymore. None of the doubt or regret for having unfulfilled dreams. None of the fear for trying something new or the anxiety of trying to keep things together when you know they're just not working. We all have those things, but none of it matters. All that matters now is what you are going to do to choose your happiness today. My solution to this problem is called desire mapping, and it's based on a book by Danielle Laporte, and I've used it for the base of my coaching ever since I started. And the wonderful part about desire mapping is that it can be used not just to create new change, but you can use it to refine and realign the changes you're already trying to make in your life, like weight loss, job transitions, relationships, business planning, and even those mid-course corrections. Whatever type of change you're trying to make, desire mapping is going to make things easier, more powerful, and longer lasting. I fell in love with desire mapping a while back, and I've used it to plan everything from my home life to my parenting skills and to my business. And it's one book and course I would suggest to anybody who's considering making life changes or even life coaching. It's the one thing that has kept me going, even in my darkest times. It kept me choosing happiness, life on my own terms. Learning to desire map was not only addictive because it feels so real, so honest and powerful, but it provided me the clarity I needed, the confidence I couldn't get through without, and the inspiration to make my dreams take flight before my eyes. I just had to share it with everyone I knew, my friends, my family, my clients, and my future clients. So a little bit about me before we get too far into the material here. When I started life coaching, I was completely caught up in the idea that my life would be perfect if I only achieved this or that goal. If I got up on my high horse and I got my business running and profitable, if I did all my parenting stuff just as I should, all the kids went to bed at the right time, they all took showers, if I scheduled everything down to the nanosecond. If. But needless to say, no matter how hungry I was for the changes I was trying to make, no matter how good my intentions were, I would crash and burn over and over, hitting that proverbial wall with my head. My passion, my energy, my fire was completely out of balance. I was living for the highs and ignoring the downsides and the exhaustion. I realized I was only making myself more miserable, adding to my feelings of failure, basically giving myself a complex over it. I realized that even if I got all the business building stuff done perfectly, even if all the parenting stuff was done per Martha Stewart, and even if my life was completely balanced, there would always be something else I was reaching for, something more, because I wasn't happy where I was. I was running in a loop and I had to get off. Now, how many of you can relate to that story? Pardon me. The result of pursuing my dreams needed to be happiness. It needed to be clarity, enthusiasm, and confidence. And it needed to be the place where I was aiming for. It needed to feel good and move me forward. My emotional state also needed to be part of my goal setting. No, more than that. My goal setting needed to be based on how I wanted to feel and how I needed to feel. Few other programs are going to tell you that you are right, that you are correct, that you are validated right off the bat. That's because they want to sell you their way of thinking, their solution. But this program is only about you and only about how you want to feel. Most people aren't taught to make life goals that way. In fact, we're taught the exact opposite. They shoot for some external accomplishment and think that once they reach that point, no matter how the journey there felt, they're suddenly just poof magic gonna be happy. But life rarely works that way. What if the purpose of life, the purpose of your life, was to be happy? How would your life change if you were able to tap into the passion and the sincerity of your emotions, which are going to provide you sustainable and lasting motivation and fuel for change? Because they're yours. They're your reasons. They're your feelings. What happens if you were able to make goals and plans based on those amazing feelings? It would create a perpetual cycle of actual improvement that felt wonderful, that you wanted to do. What would happen if you had a simple system of guidance to help you stay on track and easily get back on track for those rough periods that life throws at us? And this is what Desire Mapping is going to teach you. And this is what my course, the Desire Mapping Companion course, is designed to do. But now let's get into a little bit more detail about why those three things that we just talked about, what's on the screen now, how would your life change if you were able to, those three things, we're going to get into those in a little bit more detail here, about why they're important. Feelings are the best fuel there is. It's why you have any success at all with any type of program. For around 2 weeks after starting something new, something you believe in, or at least you think you believe in, your body is flooded with endorphins because you feel motivated and happy. And that is what your mind and body crave after all. But we all know how those cycles go, don't we? We read a book, we watch something, we have an epiphany. And the next day you wake up and you're full of energy and you hope and you know that this is going to be it. This is going to be the time when everything goes right. When it's perfect. There's that word again, perfect. But every day it gets a little harder. Every day the momentum to keep up the new routine is a little slower and a little lower. And every day you feel that much closer to failure. Well, the wonderful part about desire mapping is that you don't have to create new change if you don't want to. You can use it to refine the changes that you already have in place. Your weight loss regime, things like that. You can reframe what you're doing now into the new desire map perspective where you're focusing on a core desired feeling. So let's take an example. I'll use weight loss because it's a common example and so many people struggle with it. According to many other change plans, weight loss plans, life coaches, weight loss is a matter of getting your priorities set and making small changes that you can repeat over time. And it's a matter of sucking it up. Sucking it up isn't exactly part of desire mapping, but small changes over time is never a really bad idea. But here, desire mapping is different because it goes beyond the essential how-to of it and goes straight to the heart of the matter. Because, you see, no matter what goal you have, no matter what change you're trying to implement, whether it's weight loss or finding the relationship of your dreams, the basic goal is that you want to feel good about yourself. Now, how do those weight loss programs make you feel? How do those dating sites make you feel? How did it feel to step onto that scale at Weight Watchers the first time? I know I don't think my psyche could have handled that. To some people, all of that does feel good. All the busy work of maintaining the profile and counting the calories, it feels like accomplishment. And so they keep on track. But what about the rest of us? What about those who just want to feel good and not necessarily accomplished? And what happens if you fall off the wagon? Where's the motivation to get back on track? Where's all that accomplishment taken you? And to get back on track, it usually is based in guilt, isn't it? And you probably feel like you wasted all that time and that you've once again let yourself down. But with desire mapping, when you start with the root understanding of how it is that you want to feel, the whole process becomes that much more meaningful, that much more passionate, and that much easier to find the motivation to stay with. Because again, it's your motivation, it's your feelings, it's what you want it to be. A good example of using Desire Map for weight loss would be to focus on a feeling of, I want to feel beautiful, radiant, or even healthy. Now, what other program asks you to feel those things? What other program cares? When you know what you want to feel, you're going to have the clarity you need to choose your battles, make those mid-course corrections in your plan, say no to what you don't need and yes to what you will need. Now, when was the last time you asked yourself how you wanted and needed to feel? When was the last time you simply allowed yourself to feel good about something just because? Well, that's a tricky one. And some people really struggle with that. But now let's go on to point 2 here. Oh, and there's the example of using desire mapping for weight loss. You want to use beautiful, radiant, or healthy for weight loss. You don't want to use something that's negative. You don't want to use something that's based on an arbitrary number, because those things aren't necessarily real to you. But the feeling of I feel beautiful, I feel radiant, or I feel healthy are very personal things to you. And isn't that really the point behind wanting to lose weight? Alright, now we're moving on to goal 2. So goals should feel powerful and amazing. And once they do, it's going to create that cycle. Because you're going to want it, and you're always going to want it, and it's just going to go on infinitely. It's going to keep going on because who doesn't want to feel good? In the battle of our life, the greatest battles in our life are usually between pain and pleasure. And we're always going to choose pleasure. And we're going to try to avoid pain as much as possible. So really, the only good and easy ways, the only healthy ways for people, for us to change, is to follow the pleasure. But another problem with the system of change or self-improvement is that while they might provide a lot of support and exercises and so forth, when it comes right down to it, you don't know how to create the change you want, because in all honesty, you've never had it before in your life. Most of us are trying to create change that we haven't experienced before or haven't experienced in a long time. And now we're in a completely different place than we were. So that past experience isn't necessarily going to provide you everything you need in order to be able to pursue it now. Because desire mapping talks to the root of what you want instead of random actions or arbitrary numbers. You're going to have a much clearer idea of what it's going to take, of what you want to see happen, and of how you can use those things that you're already doing in your life and to put them into alignment with your core desired feelings. So not only are most goal attainment systems and theories flawed in that they don't get you what you really want, because they simply aren't powerful enough. They aren't personal enough to be powerful. You don't actually understand all that someone else's goal or vision will entail for you. Nor do you know exactly what choices that person had to make to create the results they wanted. And if we don't know that, how can we tell if their system is going to work for us or not? So going back to our example, we have lost the goal of losing weight and replaced it with something positive, something based in the present, something powerful. And there is a specific way to create goals, and this is something we do go over intensely in our class. Every goal needs to be SMART, and every goal needs to be in PPP. So SMART is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. And PPP is present, positive, and powerful. So all of your goals have to match those criteria in order for those to be workable goals for you. And so we replaced it with the initial core desired feeling of, I feel I am beautiful. The first big question you need to start asking yourself after you've already been able to identify your core desired feeling and turn it into a goal, which is a whole lesson in and of itself in this class. You really want to start being able to ask yourself these questions. When do you feel this way already? So we're looking for something that happened in your past up until your current time. We want to establish what you've already been doing to make yourself beautiful. And the next question would be, what makes you feel this way? So we're talking more about your dreams, your wishes, your goals, and it's from now until some future point in which you get it. So what dreams do you have that make that feel beautiful to you? A third question to ask yourself at this point, so you can really begin honing these core desired feelings into something tangible, something real, and something you can work with on a schedule, is what does this feeling ask of you? And the last question is kind of related, but there are some differences in how you can take them, is what do you need to do to feel this way all the time? What do you need to keep on your schedule? What do you need to plan for better? Now those can be some pretty tough questions if you aren't used to understanding what and how you want to feel. But that's why this class is so essential to be taken live and not simply by picking up a book. Once you have some of those answers to these three questions, you're on your way to creating lasting change. And it will last because it's personally meaningful and personally powerful to you. It will be based in self-love because you cannot have a core desired feeling, a feeling of yours, that ignores you. You are always part of your own dreams, wishes, and wants. So let's take a quick break here and take care of some business. I know I promised you a little bit of information about a class, and I know I promised you a little bit of information about a raffle. So I do have a raffle for the participants of this webinar, and for anybody who signs up for the Desire Mapping Companion course from today until August 29th, 2014, they will be entered into a raffle to get the Desire Map support group for free. And that's a $100 value, because we're talking about 3 months of bi-weekly live phone calls for group coaching, specifically to keep you on track and focused on your core desired feelings and your desire mapping plan. So all you have to do to get entered into this raffle is to sign up for the class. And you can do that by clicking one of the two options on, or really the first option on the bottom of your screen there. Alright, so now you know what to do. I'll remind you about it a little bit later, but just think about it, because not only do you get the 6-week class, because that's what our class is a 6 weeks live class, live weekly calls, you're also getting an additional 3 months on top of that. So you have 4.5 months to focus on your life and your needs, just from sitting on this call and signing up for one of my introductory courses. Alright, let's get on with it though. We're on to point 3. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a built-in simple system of guidance? Now, why is it so hard to keep choosing what is best for yourself? Most of us live our life underpowered, and from that state of being, it's easy to just go along with anything, go with the flow, and allow things to happen around us, whether we like what's happening or not. Most of the time, we simply don't have the emotional wherewithal to cope with yet one more thing. And it's so easy to slip into states of worry, stress, and anxiety from that place. Daily life doesn't ask us how we want to feel. Neither do most life change methods or programs. They presume that you're simply going to follow along what they think is best. And from the states of stress, anxiety, and worry, we can't make the decisions we need to make, because we usually don't have the power to see through the circumstances we're in. With desire mapping, the knowing and the clarity is the easy part. With this program, you'll learn to tap into those feeling states, which is what gets you out of those states of fear and worry and anxiety, and back into a more healthy frame of mind, into a place of power, from which it is so easy to make powerful choices. Now, I can talk forever and a day about desire mapping and about how amazing and life-changing it can be to come from a powerful state of feeling and passion, and to make those choices and to have those choices ripple out into your world. But I only have a little time with you left, and I promise that I tell you about the Desire Mapping course. So if you resonate with this struggle and this cycle of disappointment, if you're in the middle of a transition and need to get clear and grounded, if you need change but don't even know where to begin, then I want to offer you a space in my Desire Mapping Companion course. This course is for those like you who are ready to come from that place of power, whether you choose freedom as your power, energy, gratitude. It doesn't matter which feelings you bring into your life, just that you understand how to tap into their passion and power. This course is going to be 6 weeks long, but it's an easy commitment to make, because you know you're ready to soar and feel and take your power back. There will be one telephone conference call weekly, with some light reading and a video as homework, and additionally some exercises. And not only will we be going over Danielle LaPorte's Desire Mapping book, I will also be sharing with you material that I created to help the process. A lot of Danielle's material isn't focused on providing support for somebody who might need a lot of detail to make their plans, or who might need a little bit of a helping start to get feeling again. And these are some of the things that I needed when I began my desire mapping process. And so I built up this wealth of material just on this subject because I needed it. And now I want to pass that on to you. So what else is in the course? Of course, my worksheets, planning tools, articles, videos, and of course there's podcasts in there too. Because this is a completely mobile course, you can take it from your laptop or any device that you have. You could even do it in bed if you wanted. You can do it in the bathtub. It doesn't matter to me. It's got to work for you. And there'll be 6 live weekly calls with me and other students to keep you focused on your learning and on your exploring of your desires. That's $110 worth of material just on desire mapping, just on turning your life around. But because I believe in desire mapping and I believe in you, I'm offering this course for just $24.97. And this is the last time I'm going to offer this course this year. Next year in 2015, the price is going up. So this is the year to get in on this class. And don't forget, if you sign up for the class, you also get signed into the raffle. And one lucky person's going to get in on the raffle, or going to get the raffle prize of having that extra 3 months of support. Now, if you don't want to chance it, if you want that extra support, but you don't want to chance not winning the raffle, you can purchase a package deal for the Desire Mapping Companion course and the Desire Mapping support group as well. Both options are there on the page just below our little webinar window here. So, take and use the information I provided today. Not only the webinar material, but also the handout I have at the bottom of your class options there. I have a little handout that is going to kind of guide you through starting up your own desire mapping process, trying to open up the floodgates about how you feel and getting to the feelings that are really important to you, at least the ones that are important to you right now in your life. And there are a couple different layers of core desired feelings, but that's something that's really more for the class because we wouldn't have enough time to talk about it here. So take that information about getting to the root of your goals, about how to create a powerful goal, and but this class, this Desire Mapping Companion course, has so much more to offer and teach you. Desire mapping isn't just about life changing, but because it's also the ultimate life hack for manifesting and creating the life you always dreamed you would have, of having that feeling of satisfaction, happiness, those feelings which just keep eluding you. One of my students had lost his job in a way that could have impacted the rest of his employability. But when he and I sat down and talked about what this student really wanted to feel, we found that pride and success were at the top of his list for something that he really needed to feel at that point in his life. After getting the details out about what that feeling meant to him and raising his confidence up to a point where he could believe he could have those feelings, this student went out and he found his perfect job. He really did. He started working from home within a month. Another student of mine began the course looking for some inner peace. But life had interrupted the usual desire mapping process that she was supposed to be going through, and she ended up becoming the executor of her estranged father's estate. But her desire for inner peace through that turmoil didn't stop, and the stress, grief, and chaos didn't get the better of her because she knew what she wanted and needed to feel, and she was able to adjust quickly and move forward and still feel good along the way. So as we come to a closing here, I just do want to remind you that oh, I don't know. I don't think I've said this yet, but the spaces for this class are very limited. All of my classes are very small and very intimate. If I do get enough, when I get a lot of people signing up for this course, I will break it up into smaller groups, but we're only talking about 5 to 7 people in each group. So those spaces do fill up very quick. But this is the kind of course that you'd probably love to share with somebody, with a BFF, with a sister, or even with a group of people. If you'd like to have a group of people take this course with you, please just email me at lindsay@supersecretpowers.com. I'd love to work out a group rate for you on that even, but I wouldn't run that at the same time as I'm running my other public groups. So really, this is the time to get on this class, and it won't be offered again until 2015, and it won't be offered again at the introductory price of $24.97. And don't forget, you will be entered into that raffle just for signing up. So now, what are you waiting for? Your life is calling. The feelings that you have been longing to enjoy are just a class away, just 6 weeks away. So grab your best friend. Join other desire mappers in taking this class to create an inspired, creative, and joy-filled life. Grab your spot today because spaces are very limited, and I can't wait to see you in class. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, there are some bonuses for the class. I do have a student dashboard that you can log into privately, and you can keep everything organized and upload things for review. And I will review things personally, both in the Desire Mapping course and in the Desire Mapping support group. So if you have any questions or need a little bit more guidance on how to proceed with your desire mapping and your core desired feeling pursuit, all you would have to do is email me right from your client portal, and I can review your notes and get back to you. And that's $30 value, but I'm giving that away for free. And of course, we have the private Facebook group just for desire mapping from Super Secret Powers, where you can meet, mingle, and learn from other desire mappers. And that is priceless because it's live feedback from more than just the small class participants and people who've been at it for maybe a little bit longer than you have. And I really hope to see you in class. It's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be a hoot, and we end up laughing. Sometimes we end up crying. But all in all, my core desired feeling for these classes is joyful, is celebration. And by leading this class, that is what I want to bring to you. So I'll see you soon. Bye.